Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming. I would like to call to order the Whittingham Homeowners Association, Greenbriar Whittingham Community Association Joint Open Board Meeting for Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. Would you all please stand for a Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States. Matt, can I have a roll call for the WOA board, please?
Sure, Tom. Tom Clark,
Here.
Jay Respler, Bob Brown, Kathy Dodano,
Here.
Joe Atanasio,
Here.
Kathy Clark and Gleason, and Jeff Simonson is absent.
Correct. Okay, you have a roll call for the Greenbriar board, please.
All right, Mark Sertz,
Here.
Chester Trubinsky,
Here.
Wayne Baruch,
Here.
Alan Greenberg absent tonight, and I don't see Jack Sandler on Zoom.
Okay, and how many people are there at management tonight?
I'm lonely over here tonight. We've had a lot of people sick in the office, and Kristen had a commitment at school with her son's school, so I'm going to start by reading my report and then her report, and then you guys are going to get tired of me.
Okay, go ahead, man.
All right, a couple of quick updates for everybody. We have over in Whittingham, we have 3 stairways and landings that are going to be replaced next week if the weather holds. It's looking like we're going to be in the 40s, so we've been anxious to get that project underway because it's been in the works for a while. We were able to get the new railing installed behind the restaurant today where we put a new handicap ramp, so happy that's finally behind us. Speaking of the restaurant, we've been working pretty closely with all the people at the Greenery over the last couple of months. So we're very excited for tomorrow, the opening. Unfortunately, with the weather, our roof project is currently on hold. A little too cold for the guys to be on a roof or even outside. We got 8 buildings left under the current contract. So as soon as the weather breaks, we'll pick that back up again. And we talked last week, we're going to be doing some power washing in Whittingham in the spring. That's been approved. And when we get more time and we get the schedule, we'll let everybody know. We have transitioned to American Pool, as we mentioned. We had a little bit of work to do with some of the equipment in there and some repairs to make, but everything's working very well right now. And very happy to see Joe Santos, our own resident, working there a couple of days a week. We know when Joe's there, there's never going to be a problem.
Matt, I have one question on your report.
Sure.
The transition with the new pool company. I've had a lot of comments in regards to the time that people have to get out of the pool while lunch is going on. And sometimes when they're putting chlorine into the pool and so on. So can you give us a little insight into that?
Yeah, we've gotten some complaints about that too. I mean, they have to do some mandatory breaks, obviously, for lunch, which isn't a problem, but we're trying to find some workarounds with them as far as when they have to do the testing, because as we know, if you have a buddy, we have the buddy system when we don't have lifeguards. So we should be doing the buddy system, even if they're testing for 10, 15 minutes. They're just taking a sample of the water. So people should really be able to remain in there if they have a buddy. So we're going to work out some of those details and get a new set of, rules out and everything like that, because that's been a complaint. As far as the chlorine, Tom, I just want to touch on that real quick. We have automatic feeders. We had them. They weren't working right. They fixed them. So you shouldn't ever see a lifeguard dumping chlorine directly into that pool or spa. Just to continue real quick, if you're good, Tom, we're still working on a couple of the fence proposals. We should have everything ready for the board to look at in the next week or two. Pickleball courts, I've mentioned, we have two bids. The third bidder was supposed to be out this week, but we got some snow on the courts, so we rescheduled for next week. I'm hoping the sun comes out, it gets to 40, and we can get that third bid in so we can start moving on that and talking about it. And springtime, we're going to do a lot of work around here, repainting the parking lines in the parking lot. We're going to be doing that in-house and getting all the pool area ready, trying to spruce that up this year.
Okay.
And
Right.
Matt,
Yeah.
just to clarify, the pickleball and tennis court 4 and 5 are under consideration for this spring.
Correct.
Okay. All right, can we move on to the next item? Greenbriar is up for business.
I make a motion, we approve the meeting, the minutes of the joint open meeting of December 16th, 2024.
Okay, let's have a call. Mark Sertz,
Yes.
Chester Trubinsky,
Yes.
and Wayne Baruch.
Yes.
And that 3 out of 5 is a quorum.
Go back to the Lower business. We got approval of December 10th, 2024 open workshop meeting minutes and also approval of the December 16th, 2024 joint open meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to adopt? Move Jay, second by Kathy. Okay, any comment? All right, no comment. Matt, can I have a roll call?
Sure. Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Westler,
Yes.
Bob Brown, Kathy Dodano, Joe Attanasio, and Kathy Clark and Gleason.
All right, let's take us on to our next item 8, committee reports. Greenbriar, I'll let you take it. Oh, Matt, you skipped it?
I kind of did. You didn't call for it, and I wasn't quite ready, but I will do it.
That's the only reason Mark Mandelo's here, to hear that report.
All right, Mark, this one's for you, all right? All right. This Sunday at 3 p.m., we have the James Taylor Era Tribute Show in the ballroom. Tickets are still available. They are $30 each, and you can see the concierge if you'd like to purchase some. This one is my favorite. Bob Scott's Game Show Experience will be here in our ballroom on Tuesday, February 4th at 6:30 p.m. It's $20 per person, and you can sign up with the concierge. Just to lighten things up a little bit, Kristen will be sending out some advertisements for the game show night. And it'll be a picture of me and Bob Scott, because I've done his game show experience a few other places. So that's my comedy for you guys. Bus trip to Resorts Atlantic City on February 5th is $30 per person, $20 return and slot play, and seats are available if you want to see the concierge. Saturday, February 8th at 1 p.m., my birthday. Thank you. Join your neighbors for the movie Carry On in the ballroom. No charge, just show up and enjoy. And we all know Super Bowl Sunday's coming on February 9th. The doors open at 6 p.m., game starts at 6:30, $22 per person, checks payable to WOA, and the food will be catered by the Greenery, and you can sign up at the concierge as well. We have a health lecture, Come Heal With Us, a guide to wound care on Monday, February 17th at 1 p.m. in the ballroom. And you can visit or call the nurse's office to sign up. And last but not least, Sunday, February 23rd at 3 p.m., we have Epic Soul Show, a unique entertainment experience that includes Motown and more. And tickets are available, $30 each, and see our concierge. I'm going to take a break.
So Matt, you're gonna spend your birthday here watching the movie, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good,
I'm sitting right next to you, Mark.
Okay,
Save me a
good.
seat.
good. I'll bring a cake.
Thank you.
Okay, before I get into committee reports, I have one or two things I wanted to mention. One is that Kathy and I sat today with Kristen to begin to schedule workshop sessions that we will be holding to roll out the consolidation of the two boards. We're talking about a presentation. We'll have a slideshow, PowerPoint, and we will go through all of the details, how it will work, what it will do, what it won't do. And it will give everyone in the community an opportunity to hear a complete explanation and get all their questions answered. We've scheduled so far 4 of these sessions. You'll be getting, sometime next week, you'll be getting an email. It will show all 4 sessions that we've already booked. And if 5, we booked 5. Oh, right, we did 5. That's right. You're right. And there will be, if more are needed, we'll just add more of them on there. We're going to have some in the ballroom, some in the poker room. In the ballroom, we're going to limit it to 150 people. In the poker room, we're going to limit it to 50. If you, it'll be you'll have an opportunity to schedule which one you want to attend. If it's full, you just pick a different one. We want to make it so that it's small enough and manageable enough that everybody can have an opportunity to be heard. It'll also be simulcast on Zoom, and you'll be able to watch it. So we'll go through all these workshops. We'll answer all the questions. I'm sure we'll get questions of things we hadn't thought about before, and we'll address those items. And then come May, once the snowbirds are back, we'll start the process of voting for this program. So it's in the works, and you'll be seeing information on that shortly. One other thing I wanted to talk briefly about is the ice conditions that we're facing here. I think the snow removal and ice mitigation work that was done during this storm was about as good as it gets. They really got the snow out of the way, got our driveways done, got our walkways done, and right behind shoveling the walkways and driveways was the fellas putting down the salt. Now, we call it salt. It's not salt. Salt is harmful to the concrete. It's corrosive, but we generically call it salt. It's actually a chemical, ice melt. CMA is what it's called in the chemical world. But the purpose of that product is to lower the freezing point of water. So where water freezes at 32, it'll freeze at a lower temperature. I don't know what it is, 22, but it doesn't lower it. It doesn't lower it to absolute zero. So even though that product is on the ground, there's still ice underneath it because our temps have been so cold. So you have to be very cautious walking around, even though the streets have already been very well salted. That blue stuff is still out on my driveway, but we also have an obligation as homeowners to go out there and cover over the patches that may be missed, the patches that are not melting properly. And you should have your own form of material, again, not salt, but driveway heat, whatever you want to call it. And you're expected as the homeowner here to fill in additional salt along the way. Because once we put down the CMA, it's a one-shot deal. They don't come back and do it again and again and again, unless there's another snowfall. So I just wanted to touch on those 2 points because some of those things have come up in correspondence recently. Moving on, we don't have anything to report in budget and finance. Kathy's been very deeply focused on our financial matters. She's been sharing her feedback with members of the budget committee and myself and Stan Gross. And but there's nothing new because that budget season doesn't really start yet for next year. Wayne, you have anything on covenants?
Actually, I do, but before we haven't worked on consolidation in how many months? Did we ever put together an FAQ list, a frequently asked questions list?
In lieu of FAQ, what we did is prepared the slide presentation, which covers the various points of the FAQ. And the slide presentation will be available visually, but it'll also be available where people can print it out. It really substitutes, the slide presentation substitutes as a straight up FAQ in that it touches upon all the points. So that's the way we looked at.
As you know, we have the new parking rules that went into effect, and hopefully nobody will get cited. Hopefully everybody's parking okay. But in preparation, I had a chance to talk with Yolanda Tony, who is the chair of our Covenants Committee. And she and I just talked about the process, and just to make sure that if anybody is cited and has to go before Covenants, that it's done fairly and equitably, and everybody feels that they got a fair shake. Nothing else to report.
The site review committee met on January 7. 8 applications were received. 2 were placed on hold. The applicants failed to secure a permit for tree removal from the township. Once they receive the permits, show them to Susie, we will approve those applications. Committee members conducted 10 inspections. That's about it.
You have a report on the newcomers?
Yep, I got a very brief report since Alan Greenberg could not be here tonight. He mentioned that the newcomers committee has no update. Our next meeting, our next event will be scheduled for the spring, and go Bills. He's a big Bills fan.
Okay,
We're done.
all right, thank you. Let's move along to the WOA report. Kathy, you have anything to report on budget and finance?
I just want to add to what Mark said. As anyone in the financial field will know, December is generally a longer month, meaning they have to close the books, they have to prepare all their accruals, make sure all the finances are in order. So it generally takes a little bit longer to close the month of December. We have not yet received December results, but we anticipate we will get them very soon, within the next week. And at that point, they will be available again online on the portal. And we will look to prepare a year-end report for all our community members. That's it.
Covenants Committee did not need to meet this month.
Okay. Entertainment committee.
Okay, Entertainment Committee, we had some really good meetings. We are booked with shows through October. Okay, so save the dates. We have a couple of people coming in. We have the January show, James Taylor, Epic Soul was always mentioned, Vinyl Madness, classic rock. On April 26th, this one is going to sell out real quick. It's called The Doobie Others. And if you listen to them and close your eyes, they sound like the real band. I won't go any further than that because I want to talk about PAC for a second. As you know, we had a great show in November. And CTAC, which is the Township Community Theater Arts Consortium, has invited us again to perform. There will be 4 acts from our shows on March 15th at 2 o'clock at the Senior Center. Tickets go on sale February 13th. They're only $10, but there's only 400 seats available. Okay, so if you want to get there, put that on your calendar for February 13th. They'll be available at the library. Okay, that's what I have.
Okay, thank you. Landscape committee.
Landscape did not meet this month. There was no need, but we will be meeting January 28th so that we can start talking about the spring lineup of flowers.
Okay, thank you. Did Jeff have anything on the site review, for tonight, Jeff? No report?
Oh, nothing.
Okay, no report for site review. Town Center Committee?
Town. Thank you. The town center met on January 9th. We discussed very many issues. A couple have been already taken care of. Ceiling tiles in the gym that needed to be replaced have been replaced. We have got all new flags outside. The other ones are in pretty bad condition. We're going to have additional mats will be placed in the men's locker room, as well as there's a piece of plywood that was missing under a locker. That'll be taken care of. We're addressing the issue of the floor in the ladies' locker room. We're going to be having another company come in to take a look at the missing floorboards outside the multipurpose room, because the company that came in to originally do it is not able to do it. They want the downstairs storage room will be cleaned after our maintenance people are able to take care of upstairs. They're taking over the controller's old office, making it another boardroom, so that then we'll have more space for meeting down here as well as upstairs. Once that's completed, then they'll take on this storage room downstairs. What else? And then there was two, also we're going to be addressing, dealing with the situation with the windows in the indoor pool. And then the last thing is there were two things that were brought up that have to be dealt with. The board has to make a decision, and we'll discuss it at our next meeting. One is a resident asked, or a member of the committee, I should say, whether or not we could rent out the poker room to residents for small groups, the way we rent out the ballroom. So that's something we'll have to discuss. And the other thing was there's some copy machines that are not in use, and they were wondering if there was a way we could use it or have the clubs use it, and then figure out a way for them to use it and also be charged a fee for using them. And I guess that's it.
Okay. Get to that. You know what, why don't we go to Zoom first tonight?
All right, so we actually don't have, there's just some comments on the snow removal and stuff like that. No actual questions that I can see on Zoom right now. Just a few comments like my street was missed with salt or my driveway was missed, but I think we have those all under control now.
Okay, so the policy is if a street or intersection or something gets missed, they should call you and you'll
Yep,
work
call
with
us,
the
we'll call them
contractor?
back out.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we'll get to the open forum. Anyone who'd like to come and speak, come to the microphone. Mike, can you check to make sure that thing is turned on? And give your name and address.
When you're on the microphone, please speak directly into the microphone. We've had
Hello.
a lot of comments from Zoom.
Hello.
That's the way to do it.
Okay. My name's John Garbarino, and I live at 20 Dawson. And I just have some comments on the landscaping. So in particular, I live on 20 Dawson. I live on the turn. And there's trees. There's most of that corner is trees and wood chips. And the landscapers refuse to blow that off and get rid of it. So
Please speak directly into the mic. I
Oh.
know the Zoomers are complaining.
Okay, Zoomers, here I am. So, the landscapers don't want to blow it out. I talked to the supervisor one day. We'll take care of it. Never did it. So last year I did over 30 leaves, bags of leaves, took it to recycling. And then this year I did about 36 bags of leaves. So I need someone to tell me what are the rules. Don't have to do it tonight, but am I responsible for doing that, or are they responsible for doing it? And there's also the word, they say modified beds. These modified beds. I don't know what that means. And so I just need someone, I don't know who that person is, to contact me and tell me, come to my house, we'll take a walk. Am I supposed to pick up all these leaves or not? Now, my neighbors tell me in the past, what had happened is they blow all the leaves, we got a lot of leaves to the golf course. There's a lot of leaves in that area. And they used to bring a truck and suck them up and take them away. They haven't done that. I've only been there for 2 years now. Now, the other thing is, so I got a copy of the contract and I read through it. Now, I don't know if I have all the change orders, but I'm just going to give you the comments. As far as turf maintenance goes, it says they're supposed to pick up debris. Well, on Dawson Lane, there were a bunch of branches, I'm talking like tree limbs, but branches in the street for 6 months. And I drove by them every day. I was waiting for someone to take action. I don't know who's responsible for that, but when a branch falls on the lawn and they put it on the street, someone should pick that up and clean it up. The other thing is, when I looked at fertilization, it said 4 times a year. I've only seen notifications twice a year, and those liquid applications. 3 of those applications per the contract are supposed to be granular. I've never seen a granular fertilizer be applied to my lawn. So I don't know who's managing that contract, but they better pull it out and read it. And as I said, I might not have all the change orders. It says 4 times a year, it's twice a year, and it's always a liquid application. And the people applying it, if they get 30% of my lawn, I'm lucky. I mean, they walk around with a hose and they don't really do, they don't do a good job. And the other thing, my lawn has never been seeded, and they talk about seeding. I don't see any seeding going on. The other thing is they have these huge equipment. They have 2 types, one small, one's huge, and they knock the hell out of all the utility posts. They're all bent. You got to go out there, push the thing together, whatever. So someone needs to oversee these folks. They need to be managed because they just seem to do whatever they want. So in summary, if someone could just get back to me, take a walk over there, who's ever responsible. Am I supposed to pick up these leaves? Are they supposed to pick them up? And the other key point here is, as far as leaf removal, if you read the contract, they're supposed to pick up the leaves and remove them from the site. That is very clear. That is not happening. Now, I live on that corner, and maybe I have 10 or 15 feet along the road, which is grass. What they do is, this year, the 3 houses across the street, since they have small property, they blew it out into the street, they mulched it, and then they were blowing it on my lawn, which I had picked up 36 bags of leaves on. And I told them, stop it. So not only did they stopped blowing on my lawn, they left it in the street in front of my house, and they refused to cut my lawn. So somebody needs to get a control of these folks, okay? And that's
20 Dawson.
20 Dawson Lane, yes.
We have a
Right.
meeting with the landscaping committee.
Right.
At that committee, our representative from LMS, who is our contractor, sits in on the meeting. We will bring it up, both Bob
If
and
he's the
I.
manager,
Yes.
I've talked to him twice. You get a lot of lip service, and this is why you have to follow up. He yeses you to
Of course.
death and does nothing, okay? So have your meetings, but you got to get out in the field.
Absolutely.
That's where the rubber hits the road, okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, all right?
Hmm?
Dale Blum, 7 Wellfleet Street. We've lived here many years, and we travel a lot. Usually in the winter, over the past years, we've always parked it in the town center with no problem, get the proper paperwork, la-di-da. This year, I went up to find out the procedure, and I spoke to them and I told them it'll be a minimum of 2 weeks, but less than a month, maybe 3. I was instructed that anything past 2 weeks, I'd be charged $50 for that month for leaving my car there. So there's nothing written down that I know of in the past. And I looked at Susie and I said, this is ridiculous. I'm not paying $50 to leave my car there 2.5, 3 weeks, or 3 weeks and 2 days. So I went to Plan B. So what is the procedure? Will people be charged for less than 30 days for one-time parking in the lots in the winter time, just due to this situation?
Yeah, the new parking rules that we put into play, that the board's approved, you can park up there for 2 weeks if you're going away, if you go
Right.
to security and get a permit and
Right.
everything like that, it's up to 2 weeks. So no more than 2 weeks. So if you want to park up there, I believe you do have to get in one of the long-term spots then.
I didn't need long-term. I only needed like 3 weeks, an extra week, and she wanted to charge me $50. And I walked to her and I said, that is ridiculous.
Yeah. Do you have anywhere else to park it or no?
I went to Plan B. I have other resources in the neighborhood. Where are the short-term spots are in the front by the, with that, what do they call that object? The bus stop.
Yep.
The
yep.
long-term is in the back, but if I park long-term, I'll be charged $50,
That's,
but I'm not gonna be,
yeah, those spots are $50 a month.
okay. And the other thing I brought to her attention, I was there on Friday prior to the snow. And I said to my appreciate if management would give us a little bit more notice than the day of the snowfall, so we can park our car on Saturday at the town center. And the response was, no, you can't put your car there Saturday, even though the snow is gonna come very heavy on Sunday. Can we get a little bit more notice? Like 1 day more?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's reasonable. I mean, I'll give you an example. I talked to a resident today. He actually was going away for the weekend. The weekend it snowed. He was leaving on a Friday. He has an extra car that he had nowhere to put. He normally
Right.
parks on the street. He put it in the long-term lot, he put it up in the lot anticipating that it was gonna snow and he was gonna get an email about it, which he did on Sunday. And he got a ticket. And I'll be
That's-
completely honest with you, I did away with the ticket because he was doing the right thing, trying to get his car off the road
Right.
in anticipation of the storm. So
And I
I think we
did-
can be, I think we can be a little flexible
Right,
in
and I
certain
did,
circumstances.
and I did see a lot of people in the neighborhood on Sunday with their cars in the street because they weren't given enough notice, at least that one more day.
I agree with you.
Okay, that's it.
Yep.
Thank you. Well, I'm not sure about that. I've never seen.
I have compliments. I have great kudos. Tybee Lapkin, 2 Halifax Drive. I first want to say I was very happy with the snow removal. I understand you don't get too many compliments, so I want to add to that. And I want to say that the greenery is more than anybody, certainly more than I expected it to be. It is totally upscale and absolutely delicious. And I am so looking forward to its opening, which is happening very soon. That'll keep us warm.
Tomorrow.
That's very soon. And I will park close by.
Okay. Is there anyone else looking to come up to the microphone? We did Zoom already.
I make a motion, we end the meeting before Mark Lindell gets up.
Okay, seeing no one else, I'll close the open forum, Mike. I just wanted to make a comment before we go to adjournment. At the last meeting, there were issues raised in regards to policy to be in place now that we don't have a late night shift nurse on the property. And we are in the process of setting up meetings with security, St. Peter's, and our management to address that issue. So that if something should happen late in the evening, there'll be a policy in place of how people can enter into the property without having to knock the door down, master keys and so on. And making sure that if somebody's in that unit and has a medical condition, that that information could be readily available within that unit for the EMS people to find. So we're going to be setting up that meeting very shortly. And we'll get back to you with whatever policy we're able to come out with it. Anyone else on here have any comment to make? Okay. All right. Well, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Moved by Jay, second by Joe. Okay, and thank you all very much for coming. Stay warm.
Say it. That doesn't-